All right, hello, Idiots on Parade, the Too Ugly for TV podcast. We mock the news so you don't have to. Hello, Jake.
How's it going?
All is well here. That is Jake Vevra, stand-up comedian in New York City. I am Nathan Timmel, stand-up comedian in Iowa City. I'm going to let you know right away that, Jake, I will be muting the shit out of my side. I don't know if you can hear it. It rained all night. I record in the basement. I'm next to the sump pump. I have a non-stop flow of water. If you can hear it, it sounds like I'm probably peeing, but I'm not. Yeah, and the sump pump is kicking on every 30 seconds.
I actually can't even hear it. And I'm going to be muting mine too, because I have like annoying kids and dogs and all kinds of bullshit in this apartment. My life is a constant flood of sewage.
Actually, I got to tell you, you made me laugh earlier. When today, listeners and viewers, Jake said, "Hey, I'm going to be about 10 minutes. We're out of baby formula. I had to run to the store," which made me laugh, considering for the entire, 6-7 years we've been doing this, it's, dude, I'm so hungover. I need an extra. You went from hungover Jake to baby formula Jake. Just boom.
Oh, no. I'm hungover too. I'm the same. Yeah. Still drink it. It's just, now I have a kid.
Gotcha. All right. Before we jump into stories, Jake, did you hurt your back recently? Is there something you wanted to?
I did, dude. I've barely been able to walk for like 3 days. It's been
walk. Wow.
Yeah. Like I can't stand up straight. It's like a whole ordeal, man. Here's the thing. We have like a weird futon couch. My parents-in-law, right? Like they came to stay with me. They actually fixed the bottom of it, which me and Amy were going to do, but forgot. Before I woke up, they just asked me to move one little thing after they were done fixing it so they could put it down, and I threw out my back doing that.
Moving a futon.
Yo, no. Like, not even that. Just like moving it off of a thing that they were fixing it on. I didn't help with the fixing at all. They fixed the whole thing, like hammered it back together. They're in their early 70s. They're fine. I moved one little thing as they're putting it away, and I've been fucked up for 3 days. It's the most humiliating shit.
That's why you have to stretch before helping someone who's working on a futon. Always stretch.
Yeah. I was the futon worker's assistant, and only for about 30 seconds there. And it was
Did you not lift with your knees, Jake? Is that what happened?
Here's the thing, I did, but it's a weird futon, and it's got like a weird hinge that kind of came off as I was, it kind of fell back as I was lifting it up. So I twisted down to grab it as it was falling, and that's when it kind of got me.
Twisting and lifting is not a good idea, or catching.
No.
All right.
I heard on Rogan the day before that it was, and so I listened, but it was not.
Well, he's a lifter, so he should know. You should always listen to him when it comes to lifting advice from powerlifting.
Oh my God, my back.
All right, let's jump in, Jake. Someone did a cut and paste of headlines out of Minneapolis, and I found them so funny that I sent it to you. I will throw it up on the YouTube video. I'll paste it in there. But for listeners, I'm just going to read every headline in order. Some of them have dates, some of them don't. So I'm just gonna skip the dates because I'll do the first and last date. The first date is June 26, 2020. June 26, 2020. NPR. Minneapolis Council moves to defund police, establish holistic public safety force. Next headline, Washington Post. Minneapolis violence surges as police officers leave department in droves. Washington Post's follow-up article, Minneapolis City Council alarmed by surge in crime months after voting to defund the police. This is September 2020. Moving over to Minneapolis Public Radio. With violent crime on the rise in Minneapolis, City Council asks, where are the police? Moving down to a follow-up on Minneapolis Public News. Minneapolis Public Radio. Some Minneapolis City Council members would like a redo on defunding the police. And then finally, the Associated Press, Minneapolis to spend $6.4 million to recruit more police officers, February 13th, 2021.
There we go. Tax dollars well spent.
So my favorite part about this is people that are saying they voted to defund the police, but they didn't actually do it, but police left anyway. Of course they did. If you are saying, and again, we could do an entire half an hour on this. One, defund the police does not mean what people think it means.
No.
But two, when you put that shitty message out there, you're like, hey, police, fuck you. We're going to take your money away. And we hate you. And all you do is beat up citizens. Who's going to want to be a police
It's a
officer?
pretty rough title, and then a lot of the rhetoric behind the sort of slogan was kind of implying that anyway. So I know I made this comparison on here before, but it would be like if I go, look, teachers are having to do too much. Okay, they're having to be their own security guards. They're having to be like therapists and counselors. They're having to bring in box lunches for kids that can't afford it. You know, I think that they should have to do less things. So I have a plan called defund the teachers. And for some reason, the teachers unions don't want anything to do with me. They're ignorant. They're not reading my plan. And so that's kind of what was going on there in terms of the cops leaving and everything. But I was like the progressive people who did this in Minneapolis, you should thank your lucky stars for COVID, because were it not for Donald Trump fucking up COVID-19 so bad and his response to it, he totally would have won 2020 because of this shit right here.
Well, and not just that. You have to, well, because this happened during COVID, but imagine if the police had all quit when people weren't like quarantined or going out less, or, you know, it could have been a lot worse because people were staying inside more.
I mean, shit. I was in New York. They basically did quit during COVID, man. Homeless people were running crazy on the train, dude.
Oh, wow.
Cops weren't doing shit.
But I absolutely hear you. Like, what they should have done is what you said. Hey, teachers are doing too much. They have to be their own security guards. They have to teach the kids. They have to act as the nurse because we cut the budget there. I have a plan. It's called double fund our teachers. We're going to hire more nurses and security. Like, that's what they should have done with, instead of defund the
or even
police,
just reform, you know?
Yeah.
But the thing is they had
not even
they
reform, because that's still like do something like empower, I don't know, expand the police force, like you and I have talked about, because police officers are generally overworked. So fucking double the amount of police officers so that they're not all and pay them so they're not all fighting for overtime and working 10 cases and solving none. But yeah, say, you know what? Police officers shouldn't be therapists. We're going to add a therapist role to the police force to join them, or when dealing with a crazy homeless person. If the homeless person has a knife, then the police step in. If the homeless person does not have a knife, then the trained therapist counselors can talk the homeless person down.
I think they had to pick that title because they had to pander to the people that really do hate the cops, like on the far left. We still want the votes of the abolish the police people. So I know we'll call it defund the police, and it's actually filled with like really smart shit, but we'll give it a stupid fucking title so that we can pander to the stupid fucking people and still get their votes. And it's like, I don't know, man. Sometimes that kind of thing doesn't work.
And alienate the police at the same time, because I think you and I have talked about this before, and you just mentioned it, like, but personally, take away the hypothetical of the teachers. Personally, when was the last time, Jake, someone just said to you, hey, Jake, I have an idea on how you can be a better person. It's called fuck you, Jake, you suck. And you went, ooh, I'm all ears. Let me listen to this wonderful idea now that you've just insulted me. Nobody likes being insulted up front and then being told actual good advice. If you have good advice, just say, hey, I've got some ideas. Let's sit and have a conversation, not start with something that may be demeaning or insulting and then expect to be paid attention to.
Well, but the places that we're pushing this kind of things, we're slashing police budgets as well. So it's not just that it's, well, we're gonna hire all these people to do all these other roles, because that's gonna take more funding. You know, they were cutting the fundings at the local level. So it's weird hearing people complain about a lack of police in places like Minneapolis, or especially like Portland or something, where they've really been going hard against the cops.
Yeah, where they let that downtown area be a free zone for a couple months until they realized
Chaz or whatever
that
they
wasn't going to work.
Right, right. And then they basically, the first thing they did once they took control of those blocks is they made their own cops who went around just beating people for fucking filming stuff. And it's like, what do you don't see the irony here? But so when you have to call the cops, if you're one of those city council members who is a like a hardcore, like abolish the police person, you kind of look like
we had that. Remember, there was a story, a city council person who voted to defund the police, said the police, whatever,
right.
Then started getting hate mail or spam phone or protesters outside her house, and then said, why aren't the police getting these protesters off my lawn? I remember that. We had a story where someone said the police suck, fuck the police, defund the police. Oh, now I'm going to call the police because I have protesters outside my house. Where are the police? Why are they not coming to help me?
It was a great story a few times. Yeah. And then there's been like actors who were super, like hard against the cop. And, oh, we need to abolish the police. But then they were constantly going, well, yeah, but we need a cop to guard my Jaguar though.
Yeah.
Filming. Just goofy shit like that. It's when you do that, you kind of look like right wing people after this train derailment in East Palestine, Ohio, going, why isn't the federal government stepping in to do something? And it's like, what, dude? Oh, you mean the liberal nanny snowflake people trying to create the nanny state, trying to overregulate the industries? Why aren't they stepping in? I don't know. They tried to before the train crashed, and you wouldn't let them.
Not just that, but you want the federal government. You are always trying to slash the EPA and take away regulations. And then a train crashes, maybe, just an accident, or maybe because there was a few loose ends, a little less regulation than there should be. And now it's all the federal government's fault. But as far as cutting police budgets, yes, the point, as you and I know, is they were trying to demilitarize the police because they were saying police do not need all the military equipment that they get.
And that's true. I agree
and that is
that.
true. But that again, like, so when they cut the budget, they're not trying to cut pensions or pay. They're trying to say, you don't need an MRAP in Portland, Oregon.
Right. And I'm definitely with some of that. It's just that, if you're doing that combined with the rhetoric of like, oh, defund the police, abolish the police, this and that. I mean, yeah, a bunch of them are going to bounce because they're going to be like, hey, man, this isn't a good future for me here at a department where the civilian leadership in charge of me is constantly coming at me for what some other guy who's not me did 7 states away. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
I get it. You know what I mean? Like, I'd fucking bounce if I was them too.
I would as well. I would not. It makes no sense that you'd be like, all right, I have to go and I have police officer friends. And I mean, it's been discussed. You don't know. You've seen video. It's rare. But if you walk up on a car to ticket it, that someone might have a gun or they might start some shit. And it needs to be de-escalated on both sides. But the idea that, okay, here I am putting my life on the line. I have to see the worst of humanity. I'm the guy that shows up when a dude just beat the shit out of his wife and killed his kids, or I'm the one that has to go to a front door and say, hey, your daughter was just killed in a drunk driving accident. Oh, and you hate me and, defund me, and you have all this nasty rhetoric. Yeah, that's a job I want to keep. I see the worst of humanity and I'm treated like shit. Good call.
Yeah, it's pretty rough, man. I definitely wouldn't do that shit.
All right, moving on. Jake, we love to talk about frivolous lawsuits. Well, I got contacted to be part of a frivolous lawsuit, Jake.
Nice. Oh, I missed this. I missed this link. This is awesome. I get to hear about it now too.
Okay. I like to go to a place called the gym, and some days I lift what the kids call weights. You can't tell from the video because I got scrawny little piddly arms.
Oh, live with your back, not your legs. Don't twist when you're doing back stuff.
Yes, but I buy a protein for water that's full of BCAAs, amino acids that help replenish you after a workout. And because my name was on a list,
they switched it with acid. Everyone at the gym was tripping balls.
And I don't know why anyone's filing a lawsuit, because it made for great workouts. Usually you're bored. You're like, oh, I don't want to do another rip. This time you're like, dude, the walls are butterflies. This is awesome. Yeah, it was great. No, I'm on a list because I bought something on Amazon. It was an amino acid formula. Now, here we go. The lawsuit alleges that in its marketing, labeling, and advertising, I'm going to go right ahead and say I did not buy it because of any of that. I bought it first because of price, and then second because of taste. So fuck all that shit about late. They made a series of material representations about the caloric content of Extend. These include that they had 0 calories per serving when they are, in fact, not 0 calories. Nowhere in here does it say what it is. It's probably negligible, like 1 calorie or 2 calories. It does not say, but it's not like you were drinking a soda or a milkshake. It's probably 1 or 2 calories. So here we go, Jake. The company has agreed to pay $3 million, most of which will go to lawyers, because I can file a claim for 50 cents each time I purchase this product, up to $50 per household for 2-person household. Maximum.
Wait a minute, up to 50. Now, okay.
Oh, wait, sorry. $50 with proof of purchase. But if I wanted to just file and say I can't prove I bought this shit, I can still get $25. Just if I want to file and say I bought this stuff, but I can't prove it, they will send me $25.
Okay, that's good. But what did you say the limit was per household?
For 50. So if I have
50.
if I have my Amazon history, if I go through my Amazon history and show that I ordered this enough to get $75, they'll still cap it at 50. If I ordered this enough to get $100, they still cap it at 50. So there is a cap.
All right, now I'm having crazy painful back spasms right now, and I'm not good at math even when I'm not having that. But you said 50 cents per order, right?
Yes.
And so that means
every 2 orders is $1.
$50 is 100 orders, right?
Yep.
Okay. If it's capped at that, wouldn't the household that ordered like 1,000 of these things, wouldn't they really be the victims here? Wouldn't they be? There's some guy who's just morbidly obese right now going, I thought I would lose weight by only eating this, but it's got calories. Blah, 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 blah. And he's the real victim as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah,
he's one of his feet
more
today,
than me.
and he's getting $100 for losing his foot.
I have to tell the listeners right now, I don't think I'm going to file on this. I think I'm just going to let it go because what's the word for it? I'm not a fucking asshole. So this reminds me, whoever filed this, whichever fucking asshole said, hey, this powder that says it has 0 calories has half a calorie, now I'm angry, is the same kind of vegetarian fuck that sued McDonald's for using beef tallow in its French fry oil. Dude, did McDonald's specifically advertise these French fries are vegetarian, or did they just say they're French fries and you jump to a conclusion? Because I'm pretty sure my entire life, I never went into a McDonald's and looked at the board and saw a little V for vegetarian next to the French fries. You fuckers have too much time on your hands.
Now, to be fair, I would order French fries expecting them not to be like have meat in them. That said, it seems like they're using such trace amounts that it's like, what are we really talking about here? And then two,
I wouldn't expect chunks of beef in the French fries, but when I found out that I didn't care. I didn't like, ooh, now I can never eat French fries. Like soup with chicken base. Don't give a fuck. You know, bouillon,
right.
Chicken. Yeah.
But it's sort of, it's one of those things where it's like that'd be one thing if it's like, well, the French fries at I don't know, some hippie, holistic salad restaurant, they had a little bit of meat. Like that's where you get surprised about that. McDonald's, like for one thing, I don't even think the meat is meat half the time. So I would expect that the French fries would be meat and that the patties not be meat. Like that's what you get when you go to McDonald's.
You just reminded me of the joke you made. Brilliant joke and an astute point when Burger King was advertising their veggie Whopper. Then people couldn't tell the difference between the veggie Whopper and the Whopper. Your point was that's not giving your regular Whopper a whole lot of credit there.
No. Put your Impossible Burger up against a mom and pop, like decent $12 hamburger, like a nice, like some old lady who grew up making those things there. She's grilling that thing in the back. If it tastes like that, fine. That's a goddamn commercial.
My wife and I go to a restaurant here in town, and sometimes I order the Impossible Burger. Just why not? and she orders a burger. And listeners can't hear this, but I'll give you a slight visual. The Impossible Burger comes out looking like this flat sort of something, and the burger is at least an inch and a half thick, and you can tell just by looking. You don't even have to taste. You're just like, oh yeah, that's a hand patted thick burger, whereas the other one is this circle processed, came in an
Right.
assembly line, ka-chunk, ka-chunk, ka-chunk.
Whereas that's what the rest of Burger King's burgers are anyway, just a little bit
Yeah,
of meat. And
all
they're like, look,
assembly
it was
line.
already 75% yoga mats that we collected at the end of a session for very, very heavy women, because we found that it had the same caloric content as beef. And so we've been cutting it with our beef. What we did is we just used pretty much all fat lady yoga mat. And that is our Impossible Burger. And really, people can't tell the difference between that and our other burger, which was basically all yoga mat anyway. So,
And that was Subway. That was the yoga mat bread, wasn't it? Yeah.
I think so. I think so.
All right. Jake, moving on. This may be my favorite story of the week. I don't know why we didn't lead with it, because I
That's
forgot
it. But wait, before we go to there, do we know anything about the person that actually started this lawsuit? Not the
No,
lawyer,
it
but
doesn't say. It doesn't say, like, Henry Bishop of Eugene, Oregon, one day noticed that here. How did he? Did someone like get out a Bunsen burner and a chemistry set and say, okay, this burns at this rate, which means it has calories? Like, who the fuck?
dude,
I'm
I'm
drinking it
picturing a
right now,
guy.
by the way. This pink shit that you see me drink. This is BCA amino acids.
Nice.
Again, if it has calories
Brand
in it,
loyal.
it is negligible. It might have 1 calorie. It's water with amino acids.
My favorite kind of people that work out are the people that like will work out a little bit and they'll spend all the money on the supplements, but then the rest of the time they're at Burger King eating that yoga mat meat or whatever, and it's so like they're not losing weight at all, but I like the idea of a guy who's in there who's just he bought the amino acids and then immediately quit working out. You know what I mean? He kept eating bad, but now he's in court like 300 pounds overweight, and he's going, if it wasn't for the fucking calories in this thing, dude, I'd have to have the 6-pack back.
I would. I'd be. Women would want me once more,
Yeah.
just like when I was in my teens.
Now give me $50, sir, because my house did meet the cap.
Give me $50
at Pizza Hut,
and make sure that my lawyer gets 2.5 million of that $3 million settlement.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, Jake. We have, drumroll, Rachel Dolezal 2.0, diversity activist who claimed to be Latino, Arab, South Asian. I like how they didn't say and South Asian. Latino, Arab, and South Asian should be there. Outed as white by her mother. But that's not all. This is not part of the headline. If you scroll down, a human resource official who helped this woman god damn it, they're using either way, a human resource that hired her for a job of diversity counselor said she also had queer. She was great, a person of color, a queer person of color who happens to be Muslim, and it's a woman. All these things, and someone who seemed to get it. That's why they hired her, but
This lady knows the grift. She's like, I'm checking all the boxes.
All the boxes.
Look at me limp in here. I'm disabled as well. I have a cane.
American Friends Service Committee. That's who hired her. The Human Resources for American Friends Service Committee was hiring a diversity. Where is it? They go all over in this article, but the whole point is Muslim activists Raquel Avida Sarawatsi, who claimed to be a woman of color, was outed by her mother, who said she is white as the driven snow, and she calls her Rachel. Her birth name is Rachel Elizabeth Seidel, but either way, she is not Raquel Avida Sarawasti.
That rocks. I love her mom. I tried to find where's her mom from? Like, where did they grow up? Did you see that?
Well, they gave background. They said I'm German and British, and her father's Italian, but they didn't say whether they're German and British and immigrated.
No, but like what part of the state, or what part of the country?
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm wondering.
I'm scrolling all the way to the bottom. I love this kind of shit. Imagine the trauma of people who confided in her, trusted her, and shared sensitive information about their work and about their lives, thinking she's a fellow person of color. Now, all of a sudden, it's a white woman with a right-wing history. It's scary. Oh, a right-wing history. Wait.
Oh, you didn't read that part?
No, I missed it.
That part's pretty wild. The
Some
fact that
members
they
claim
called
that
it
after
right wing is kind of
9/11,
funny.
she appeared
Now,
on
granted, I'd
right-wing
have to hear
TV
the
shows where
interview.
she described as a moderate Muslim critical of, well, who isn't critical of Islamic extremism?
Yeah, that I love that part made her right wing. That part made her right wing, where she's like, "Listen, yeah, man, I eat turkey bacon, but I don't like people blowing buildings up. That's
Yeah,
what the fuck." And here's the thing. Here's where it kind of gets dicey with the. This is why like right wing, left wing. It's sort of you know. So they're saying that by claiming that she's a moderate Muslim, that makes her right wing. But it's like, dude, if she supported Muslim extremism, I don't know if what you know about those guys. They're pretty fucking right wing. Like, what do you? If ISIS was watching Fox News right now, they'd be going, "Look at these blonde whores with their hair showing. This fucking liberal channel. I want to throw rocks at them."
they'd be switching over to OAN and Newsmax.
Yeah, and even there, they'd be like, "OAN and Newsmax, you got a bunch of whores with their hair showing. Why aren't you throwing rocks at them, OAN? I came here for right wing journalism, not this liberal horse shit."
Oh, but it's just beautiful across the board. Every bit of it. The idea that whatever's going on in her brain makes her want to do this. The idea that okay, so I say this too often, my favorite part, because there are so many favorite parts, but I really love the fact that according to what I have read in the article, and I could be wrong, it does not seem like she was hired because she was qualified for the role. The guy gives the quote, "I hired her because she hit these check boxes." That's on you, fuckface. If you
Oh
are
yeah,
hiring off check boxes and not a resume, then shut the fuck up with your
there you
complaining.
go. Oh, did I maybe not look into her background a bit? I only cared about the boxes, checking the boxes, checking the boxes. That's on
Yep.
you. 100%.
Yeah, because
100%.
that's what it said is great, a person of color, a queer person of color who happens to be Muslim and a
You
woman.
did.
And as you said, all she needed was a crutch. She needed to be doing the Tiny Tim roll too. God
Yep.
bless everyone.
Yeah, man. It's you made yourself a mark with those hiring policies, and now some white devil put on skin bronzer and a little Muslim hat, and she came in here and took your little jobby poo. So you're a moron, and she grifted you. She grifted you. Now her mom called her out, which I think is hilarious too.
That's fantastic. Absolutely love it. Did
Yeah,
Rachel Dolezal's mom call her out too? Wasn't that it? Like a
I
parent
think
said,
so. I think
yeah,
so. Well, I'd be pissed off. I'd be pissed off if my kid did that. You know what I mean? If little Jake grew up and he was like, you know what? I hate my evil, pasty faced father. I'm little Waquan now, motherfucker. You know, and it'd be like, what are you doing? Will you take that? You're in blackface, dummy. Take that off. Fuck off. You ain't my daddy. My dad's some guy named Jamal. Like, fucking, what are you talking about?
you
Like, I
you
would call him out just like Rachel Dolezal's parents did.
yep.
I would be so fucking annoyed at that shit.
Yep, you got to call him out. Don't let him get away with it. Although, I don't know. I'd honestly be torn. Part of me would want to call him up, but part of me would be laughing too much. Like, well, good for him. Good for him for pulling one over on these idiots.
Dude, don't get me wrong.
I might respect that more.
I do like the grifter aspect of this, but yeah, if I'm the parent, I'm pissed off. I'm annoyed. I'm like, what are you doing? What are you fucking doing? You're from Mobile, Alabama. Will you shut up with this? Will you shut up with you know? It's I wish it said where the mother was from, because I am just picturing her
Yeah.
like at a Waffle House right now with their friends, like, oh girl, what's Rachel doing? Oh, Rachel, oh no, she doing fine. She moved to LA. Now she's a Latino South American Arab woman of color, and it's just I don't know how that works. I don't know what to tell you. Now she's
And she's gay.
non-binary or something. I think she's some kind of robot. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, I love these stories so much. They make me so happy.
Yeah, I mean, I totally love the idea that the parents called her out. Like, that's so hilarious. I just
Yeah,
I got to know where they're from.
it's great. All right, Jake. Sad news from the international world. It's hard to believe that it's 2023 and we still have these things going on. We know that kid labor happens in diamond mines and in China and, putting iPhones together. Anytime child labor is involved, it's really horrible because kids should just be kids. We got a story from this third world country that we're working in a auto parts, auto plant. Hyundai To divest Alabama subsidiary following child labor relations. Oh, Alabama. It was not a third world country, just a third world state. Alabama, child labor. They had kids. Now they don't. I looked through, yeah, children as young as 12 in this auto parts plant. 12-year-olds. My daughter is 10. Oh my God. It made me think of Schindler's List, where he's like, I need their fingers to get in and put whatever he was saying. I need the kids for the shell casings or whatever. But 12-year-olds working in Alabama in 2023. God bless America. Child labor is going strong.
Well, I mean, that's why, in terms of, whenever they talk about illegal immigration on the right, they always talk about going after the migrants themselves and not the fucking people that hire them.
Wait, Jake. Let me interrupt you. Are you daring to suggest that these were not white kids, that we might be taking advantage of migrant workers and their families?
Oh, not suggested. Just reading the article and reading it back to you. It 100% says it. It's migrant work, because the thing is, if you're the shady type of dude who is hiring undocumented people so that you can only pay them $4 an hour,
yeah,
you're also the shady type of dude who doesn't really give a fuck about this, for one. And then also, it's undocumented means no driver's license, no nothing. Like you can't check ages anyway. So I mean, this is inherently going to happen in a massive place like this. If you're not checking paperwork or whatever. In fact, I even read here that one of the 12-year-old undocumented migrant workers was in fact Raquel Sawarsati from the last article. She was pretending to be a 12-year-old migrant child working in a Hyundai parts factory in Alabama.
When you said no driver's license, no birth document, the first thing I thought of was, I didn't want to interrupt you because you were on a roll, was it's kind of like a 27-year-old Dominican baseball player playing on Little League.
Pretty much. I mean, it's,
we have those baseball players that are shaving and having full beards, but around a bunch of sixth graders.
Yeah, it's the same kind of deal, but the other way, I guess. That's gonna happen, man. You gotta fucking go after the people that run these kind of places and do this kind of thing, because it's very rarely is it the type of person who's like, listen, I want to hire migrant workers because I want to give them a better life. Like, no, that's not the people who are fucking doing that. That's not the people who are in those types of positions. I'm not saying there's not small hippie commune farms that fucking do that, but for
not
every
corporations.
For about every one of those, there's like 1,000 other people just trying to take advantage of migrants. And that's what the hell's going on, man. It's sad.
Well, and this goes to what you said about the train derailment. This took place in Alabama.
Yeah,
One
no
thing
regulation.
that states need to stop doing is pitting themselves against one another. Come to our state, we have fewer regulations. We hate the unions, less taxes. So we're going to put more burden on the workers, where the corporation gets a tax break for setting up shop here, and we just tax the paychecks. I mean, that is the problem with the United States. Instead of like a flat, every state a corporation has to pay this, they pit ones. Like corporations will get up like, hey, we're leaving California, fuck you, because your taxes are too high. We're moving to Alabama, where we have no regulations, and that's good for Alabama, sort of, not really, and bad for California. So California, maybe lower your taxes, you fucking overtaxed, overregulated fuckheads.
Right.
And Alabama, maybe level it off and raise your taxes and raise your, there should be a median somewhere in the middle between California and Alabama.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of like, since everything's like polarized at this country, and there's left, there's right, there's good or bad, inherently great or terribly evil. Just the term deregulation is like, that became like a political fucking thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, you should be regulating every industry to the optimum level, not over-regulating it, certainly, but then there's over-regulation, there's under-regulation. You want to find the right fucking point for every industry. But it's no, it's not like that. It's regulation is good, or deregulation is good. And that's just kind of like, it's fucking crazy. That's how you end up with some states where everything is so expensive and it takes so long to get anything done that places are leaving. And then you have other states where trains are just flying off the fucking tracks and crashing with chemicals on them in towns, because they're like, well, we didn't believe in regulating them, so we weren't checking to see that they were taking these chemicals around the populated areas and doing all that. Train drove through Cleveland, apparently. And they said if that would happen in Cleveland, it would be fucking crazy.
And if you remember last year, they were talking about a train strike because they had this labor deal where train workers, engineers, anyway, they get zero time off. They're like, hey, I have a vacation day. All right,
no sick time or whatever.
Yeah, they get so maybe this person could have been overtired. Either way,
which is very telling. They were saying, we had somebody on the show that I work on Sirius that said that they were trying to make it to where these big long train things, these massive with like over 100 cars, only has one person on. Like a lot of them have two.
Yeah,
they were trying to get it to where one person was on that, and it's like, dude, if you showed me that thing, it was like, how many people do you think is working on here? I'd be like, oh shit, I don't know, man. At least like 10 dozen. Yeah. I don't know, but that's the thing is they're in a lot of these states, they're deregulating the rail industry, and the fact that they didn't want to give them sick time, and the fact that like it becomes a federal issue, these people getting sick time, is very telling of that industry, because the same industry that will not give their employees any sick time is also the industry that's like, new brakes. Fuck off, big government. Not getting new brakes. Also, Senator Republican fuckface. It says here in the laws that we cannot legally train a circus monkey to run this train. Can you get rid of this big government horse shit? Can you pencil that out? Can we do that? And that's kind of what the fuck happened.
And really quickly, because we're out of time, it makes me think of Southwest when they collapsed. Everybody said, why doesn't Pete Buttigieg do something? So if the federal government comes in and says, hey, Southwest, you need to do something before they collapse, it's government overreach. But then when Southwest cancels all the flights over Christmas because of a blizzard, all the Republicans were screaming, where's Pete Buttigieg? You don't get it both ways. All right. One final story that I did not send you. We got to do this quick. We have 1 minute left. Years ago, I turned on NPR and I just heard this asshole talking, and I listened for about a minute, and I'm like, who is this asshole? I mean, he was just saying the most absurd bullshit, and I was just genuinely confused. I'm like, whoever is talking right now is the biggest piece of shit I have ever heard. And then at some point they said, that was Dilbert comic strip creator Scott Adams. And I'm like, wow, that guy's a dick. That was years ago. So it's funny to me that having known and he's been a dick for years.
Yeah.
Dilbert distributor severs ties to creator over race remarks. It took him saying that white people should stay away from black people because black people hate white people for newspapers to drop his strip, and now he's losing money. But it's like, he's been an asshole forever. Have you ever heard him say anything? Because when I saw this thing hit yesterday about him saying black people hate white people, I'm like, that sounds par of the course.
No, believe it or not, I don't really follow the creator of the Dilbert comic strip. I don't know what sports teams he's into.
Well, neither do I, but he makes the news for being an asshole every so often. That's why I was surprised that people are acting shocked that, oh, he's an asshole. Yeah,
I always think the same thing when I hear about like what's her name, J.K. Rowling in the news about trans. How pissed off would you be if you were one of the people that just worked under her? You know what I mean? If you were like not Harry Potter, but like, because he's got more money than God, but like Jerry Potter, who was only in like movie 3 or something.
Yeah.
And you're like, dude, I was getting royalties off of this. Like, just stop fucking blowing up our spot. This was a winning lottery ticket. If you were like the Dilbert guy, if you're the guy who drew Dilbert, and you're like, dude, but I get royalties for this comic strip. What are you talking about? I don't have any problem with black people or trans people or anybody. I just draw fucking comics. Stop taking my stuff out of newspapers or whatever.
Yep. Say goodbye, Jake. We're going to get cut off.
Later.
Bye, everyone.